Coming up on this Labor Day edition of Morning Drive, find out why collecting her first win since 2014 was the last thing on Stacey Lewis's mind on Sunday.
We're going to be able to help people rebuild houses and get their homes back, and that's more important than any win.
Plus, how will Justin Thomas back up his tournament record 63?
Unbelievable. 12th 3 of the round.
We're getting you set for the Monday finish at the Dell Technologies Championship with plenty of big names within striking distance. And it's time to get fired up. The Volvic World Long Drive Championships are here. We've got a full preview and a close encounter you have to see to believe.
Holy! Holy!
Time to crank it up. Morning Drive starts now. And a happy Labor Day Monday to you. Damon Hack alongside Golf Channel Academy lead coach Travis Fulton. Good morning, pal. Already one of the great moments of 2017 yesterday, without question. Stacey Lewis, a Houston resident, deciding before the tournament in Portland she's going to donate her winnings to the effort at Hurricane Harvey. And what does she do? She goes out and wins.
And wins it, no question about it. What a gesture, first and foremost. But to put it out there, right, ahead of time, and then go out and execute and get the win. Really incredible stuff. And probably, you know, for her, it's been a while, right? Since she's been into the winner's circle. 82 starts since that last victory. Just a terrific story, and certainly, I think, one of the better ones of the year.
She is a competitor, and we'll hear from that competitor a little later in the show. But what about your game on this Labor Day? Maybe you're laboring. Yes, what part of your game do you labor with the most? Travis and Dr. Gio Valiente are here to help. Travis will have some tips specifically if something is ailing you. Those guys will help. Big 3-hour show. Let's say good morning to Carl Robinson and Gary Williams. Happy Labor Day, guys.
Yeah, happy Labor Day. Good morning, Damon and Travis. Delighted to be joined alongside Gary Williams. Monday, September 4th, otherwise known as Labor Day this year, and the kind of unofficial end to the summer, right?
It really is. I mean, I guess the white slacks have to go away, the white shoes, the white bucks. But what we do is not laborious, so we have no problem. 3 big hours on Labor Day. Hope everybody enjoys the holiday, and glad you're starting it with us.
Yeah, we are delighted to be here. So let's get to the news of the day. And after a third round 63 that included over 156 feet of putts, Justin Thomas moved into a share of the 54-hole lead at the Dell Technologies Championship. He now sits atop the leaderboard with Mark Leishman, who is looking for a second win of the season for the very first time in his career after winning the Arnold Palmer Invitational back in March. Well, today they will go off in the final pairing at 1:40 p.m. Eastern Time at TPC Boston. Live coverage begins right here on Golf Channel at 11:30 a.m. Eastern and 1:30 p.m. over on NBC. So for more on what to expect from the only PGA Tour event with a scheduled Monday finish, let's send it out to Dan Hicks and Johnny Miller.
Well, Johnny, we got a star-studded jam-packed leaderboard, lots of possibilities in the Dell Technologies Championship. Jon Rahm, the 36-hole leader, didn't have his best stuff in the third round, but he did close with a birdie to stay within 3.
I think it was an important birdie. Hit 2 good shots, hit the green, 2 putts there for birdie. That was good, 9 under par. So he's in decent shape. You know, 71 might be his worst round of the championship, and I think he's got a good chance with a good round.
And he's got a nice seat next to the top-ranked player in the world. He'd be paired with Dustin Johnson, who got it going in the third round as well. And then you look up the leaderboard, you've got Grayson Murray at 10 under, along with Jordan Spieth. Can't ignore him, especially what he's done lately. Playoff runner-up to Dustin Johnson last week in the first playoff leg.
Yeah, Spieth's, I think, playing the best golf right now with Dustin Johnson. So Spieth is a guy you got to watch out for. He gets that putter rolling, and he got a great chance to win.
Another guy on another playoff roll is Paul Casey. Seems like every FedEx Cup season, this guy's lurking on every leaderboard.
Yeah, here last year, as everybody knows, they watched it, shot 66, 66, 66, and then on the final round, he shot 73 and let,
Rory
McIlroy pass him, so he's got a little something to prove.
Yeah, and we've got 2 tied at 12 under, Mark Leishman and Justin Thomas. You give the nod to anybody as far as a favorite goes?
Justin Thomas is sort of a smooth operator in the way he putted, and they both putted fantastically through 54 holes. So that one's sort of a toss-up. I might give Thomas, who's keeps shooting these low rounds this year, he got a chance to be Player of the Year. He might be the guy you have to say that's the guy that's going to win.
8th round of 63 or better for Justin Thomas. One thing we do know, you have to go low in the final round. There's a history of going low as far as champions are concerned here.
Yeah, the average score of the final score of the 14 champions is 65.7. So that brings a guy that's farther back a chance if that trend continues.
Yeah, that's what Leishman shot. Thomas shot 63. What's in store for the final round later today? We will see in the final round of the Dell Technologies Championship right here from TPC Boston.
Gentlemen, we're looking forward to it. This scorecard is flat ludicrous. Count them up if you want. It's a record 12 threes to get him to 12 under par. Hit 16 of 18 greens. The anomaly is that he didn't take advantage of the 3 par 5s with his length. Now, when you see all those threes, well, you're thinking, that may be a correlation to something. Now, Andre Iguodala is a golf nut. This dude at Justin Thomas bout breaks Steph record for threes. Bout. Andre, I know you'll be watching the final round today, won't he, Damon?
Sure will, G-Dub, and I will as well. Right now, though, we're going to watch and learn from the co-leader at TPC Boston, a 4-time winner this season, Justin Thomas, here on the 16th tee. Travis Fulton, what do we have?
Well, look at here. He's teeing it up. For you at home, par 3, use the tee. I see so many amateurs not teeing it up. He's teeing it up here with the mid-iron. Okay, now watch this. We're going to swing it, and it's a nice, shallow divot. Just a nice clip. When we think of Justin Thomas, I've talked about his attack angle many times on Morning Drive. Hits 4 to 5 degrees up on it with the driver. The attack angle has relevance to iron game as well. And of course, this was a terrific shot that took the slope, but that shallow clip, right? You want a shallow attack angle for most of you with an iron.
I mean, that's high. That's you teeing up. It almost looks like you got maybe a driver.
Right. A lot of you at home, too steep with the irons, too up and down, kind of gouging across it, right? Well, look at here. You can just tee it up really high like this. Take your mid iron, get in there, hover it, and just hit shots clipping it off the top of the tee. It'll help you stay tall. It'll help you really shallow out the attack angle through the strike. You get good at that, then just slowly tee it down, just like Justin Thomas on the par 3.
So no up and down, no dipping, kind of maintain that spine angle as well.
That's right.
It.
That's right.
All right, how about here? This is Justin Thomas with his approach shot on 10.
I think he's really kind of developed the off-speed shot, right? This is 138 yards.
Okay.
It's not the full blast wedge like the driver. Take a little bit more club. Grip down. Now watch this, a little 3/4 off-speed type of swing, right? That was soft, wasn't it?
Interesting.
Yeah, it just wasn't full gas like you would see with a driver or a 3, but now look at that, it kind of takes the spin off. So for you at home, right, you're in between clubs. Do I take my gap wedge, 52, and swing at it full, or do I just take my pitching wedge, maybe grip down a little bit, a little more 3/4, a little softer speed? I like that. You got to have the off-speed shot, in particularly with wedges, 9 and 8 iron.
Seen a lot of the big hitters really work on their wedge game. Dustin Johnson, Jason Day come to mind as well. How about the flat stick yesterday? It was something to behold.
Well, no one's improved their putting perhaps more from a year ago than Justin Thomas. He is really rolling the rock, and no one makes more birdies than him as a result of that on the PGA Tour, except for one person. He's 4.5 per round. Watch this. When you see putters really get it going, they stick the finish. Watch this. Acceleration. Look at him hold it. He's holding it. He's holding it. He held that finish until the ball found the bottom of the
What does
cup.
that do?
You can get in touch with the end point, right? Like we can get in there and we can kind of really match up. What does that feel like right there? I go to accelerate to there, hold that, and then you start to really, get the sense of that and what that means as far as the ball rolling, as far as speed, and as far as line. So it's like shooting a free throw, right? You just know it's right there.
I know about that, baby.
Just hold it. Hand in the cookie jar, right? Hold the putter head in the cookie jar. As Gary said, 12 threes. He was filling it up with the putter yesterday.
156.5 feet and 5 inches of length of putt. The longest length of putts he's had all year. The great year he's had, made no more length of putts than he did yesterday at Norton, Massachusetts. Carr, back to you.
All right, well, also happening now, it was closer than she wanted it to be, but Stacey Lewis still got the job done. She fired a final round 3-under par 69 yesterday to capture the Cambia Portland Classic by one shot over In Ji Chen. It was her 12th career victory, but her first on the LPGA Tour since 2014. And amazingly, the win comes just 4 days after she pledged to donate 100% of her earnings last week to the relief efforts in her adopted hometown of Houston, Texas, describing how hard it was being away from family, but even worse, watching the unimaginable pictures from home. Way to go with a win, Stacey.
She put it on the line. So, Travis, let's take a look at the final round highlights. Off to a good start. 6th hole, par 4, 15 feet for birdie.
Yeah, even with the big lead, you got to keep going. You have to make birdies. I think it was key for her to make a birdie early, extend that lead.
Yeah, got her to 19 under. Had a 4-shot lead at the time. Carr pointed out it got tight. This a gritty par putt.
She had to make that putt, right? They were coming, and she had to make that putt to stay up one. Really a terrific wedge shot to set up that putt as well.
Stayed at 20 under par. Now, she's going to remember this fairway bunker shot for a long time.
Yeah, she will, and I think they clubbed her perfectly here. Great execution. You've got to make solid contact, but trying to hit it into that back portion of the green, and she did that perfectly.
I think of her 2nd and 18 at the old course and the putt she made. This, a very lengthy putt, just trying to lag it down there and give herself hopefully a borderline gimme.
Yeah, it's line and speed in putting. We saw perfect line on 17. Well, perfect speed here on 18.
But probably the longest 2 feet she's had under the circumstance. So she takes her time. She's got 2 feet to win for the first time in 3 years. And there it is. And the emotion certainly poured out of her because it's not only the winless drought, and there you see her husband, who is a golf coach at the University of Houston. And for her, that is one remarkable story, Cara.
Well, and it got even better because yesterday afternoon, one of Stacey's key sponsors, financial giant KPMG, announced that they would match Lewis's donation to help support Houston, quickly doubling her winning total to $390,000. Another one of Stacey's sponsors, Marathon Petroleum, who have an office and refinery in Houston, also went on to donate $1 million to the Hurricane Harvey relief efforts for all weeks. For her to end her winless streak to be this one, it is a pretty awesome story. It was hard not to be emotional watching her get it done yesterday. And Travis, you're used to coaching all levels of the game, but to hold it down under pressure when she had that sizable lead early on. She was playing with a lady who was coming back at her, but she was able to produce the shots at the right times to get it done. Did that impress you?
Oh, it impressed me very much. You know, when I think of Stacey Lewis, I think of a competitor, right? I mean, this girl's competing every single day. She's putting in the time. She's giving it 110%. And sometimes you get the feeling she hadn't won since 2014, but she was playing some pretty good golf, right? She had a number of runner-up finishes, I believe 12 during that stretch. So she was playing good golf, but just not getting the victory. Sometimes due to her, sometimes just other girls playing better than her. But that putt on 17 showed the competitive spirit in her. She had to make that putt, and she did.
She did, no doubt about it. She's made some big putts in her career. When she won the ANA Inspiration, when Yanni Sinner was the dominant player, she made a huge putt on the 17th hole. When you consider, as you just pointed out, all the runner-ups, having not won, to put it on the line this week, knowing what she was playing for, I don't know, maybe sometimes when you're playing for something other than yourself, and she expressed that. And I know in what we do, it's the idea that you don't root for people. I was rooting for her yesterday and will not apologize for it.
Well, and you don't often see, you know, hands in the air, putter drops to the floor, her caddy dropped the flag. There was an emotional embrace. I spent a bit of time with Stacey Lewis recently at the Women's British Open and then again at the Solheim Cup. She's a competitor. She'd never given up hope, and the fact that she was able to break through on such a week that really had a double meaning, I think speaks a huge amount. And I would not be surprised to see this open the floodgates for her again. She's an incredibly talented player, and this might be just what she needed to get back to winning ways on a regular basis. The good news is we've got so much to dive into across the next 3 hours. She's going to be joining us on the phone in about the third hour. Dr. Gio will be telling us about what it means to be playing for maybe another reason, and Ron Syrak will have his reaction to her win as well.
Yeah, looking forward to all of that. What else is happening now is the fact that we've got ourselves quite a 1-2 punch on PGA Tour champions Bernhard Langer and Scott McCarron. Scott McCarron has broken out and become absolutely one of the most productive players in the over 50 set. His 4th PGA Tour champions win this season, and things are tightening up in the Charles Schwab Cup money list. You can see he's eclipsed $2 million. He's a little bit a shade over 500,000, still behind Bernhard Langer, but he is playing better than anybody, Cara, right now.
Well, also happening now, in his first start as a professional on the Web.com tour, Peter Uihlein came from 4 shots back on Sunday to card a final round 65 and win the Nationwide Children's Championship. He now sits on top of the Web.com Tour Finals money list with 3 events left and has guaranteed his PGA Tour card for the 2017-18 season. Others that secured their card last week include runner-up Ryan Armour, who finished just a shot back but described the performance as mission accomplished, getting back to the PGA Tour. And Tom Lovelady, meanwhile, made a life-changing putt on the 72nd hole, holding 10 feet for birdie to finish in a tie for 3rd and get himself to the PGA Tour next season. Damon?
All right, T-sheet time, Car. How about Troy Mullins? Do you remember her? She won that Mile High Showdown in Denver a few weeks back. She sits down with Shaq to talk about the Volvic World Long Drive Championship. What's on her mind ahead of one of the biggest weeks in the World Long Drive game? How about the inspirational story of Stacy Lewis? We've talked about her all morning. Dr. Gio will join, Ron Sarak will join, and Stacy Lewis herself will join us to talk about this win 3 years after her last one and the big donation going to the city of Houston where she lives. And finally, no putter, no problem. Sergio Garcia, he broke his putter yesterday on the 4th hole, so he used other putters like a long iron. He used a driver. He used a 3 wood. Travis is going to help you in case you have some putter problems. Maybe you break your putter. How can you make a putt with a 3 iron? Travis Fulton will help you with that. And speaking of help for your game, yes, today, happy Labor Day. What part of your game do you labor with the most? Travis and Dr. Gio Valiente are here to help. Hit us up at GC Morning Drive. Use the hashtag MD Labor Day. A big 3-hour edition of Morning Drive. Stacy Lewis. We got Troy Mullins with Shaq.
I want to know what you labor with the most.
Nothing. My game is tight.
Short game.